In my last episode, I talked about agile infrastructure and cloud migrations and how we could use agile infrastructure to migrate onto the public cloud. And I talked a little bit about frameworks and methods and what have you. I wanted to continue that discussion and drill down a little bit more. So today I wanted to talk about a couple of frameworks that AWS has. Now, I am focusing a little bit on AWS, and we can probably look at other cloud service providers also in some of our future episodes. But I am looking at AWS because personally I'm a little more accustomed to AWS. I've studied AWS a little bit more, and so we'll look at that a little bit. Now, AWS has a couple of frameworks that it has published, and it's a combination of frameworks, methods, and tools and all of that. So I just wanted to focus on it a little bit. So let's see. So AWS has about 5 frameworks that it has created that we should not miss. And this is an article that I read somewhere. From there I have picked up the links. So the first framework that I would like to talk about is called the Cloud Adoption Framework, the AWS Cloud Adoption Framework. There's an ebook and an audiobook and a Kindle book and all of that. I'm sure there is a PDF download of the book as well, but I'm not going to go into the details of the book. I'm just going to talk about it at a high level. Now, there are multiple perspectives that AWS covers when it comes to the Cloud Adoption Framework. It's assuming that you're new to public cloud and you're going into the public cloud for the first time, or probably a little bit not very mature and just starting off your journey. It gives you multiple perspectives of why moving into the public cloud. So there is a business perspective that essentially helps you to ensure that your cloud investments accelerate your digital transformation journey or whatever it is that you're trying to do. The people perspective serves as a bridge between technology and business, accelerating the cloud journey to help organizations more rapidly evolve to a culture of continuous growth. So there's a people perspective to the public cloud as well, and there are a number of examples that I can give you. But understanding how the public cloud infrastructure, how the digital transformation helps us accelerate our business is a very people perspective. It's a very people aspect about enterprise architecture. So many times when you go with the idea of digital transformation to the business, they'll not care that much because they don't really understand how IT helps the business. There are times when they'll say, why do I care? My systems are running fine, So the people perspective essentially helps you educate people within your organization to help them understand how technology can really accelerate our transformation journey. And then there is the governance perspective that helps you orchestrate the cloud initiatives while maximizing the organizational benefits. There's the platform perspective that helps you build an enterprise-grade, scalable, hybrid cloud platform. And there's the security and the operations perspective that within the cloud acceleration framework. So this framework primarily covers multiple perspectives of moving into the public cloud, especially if you're new, right, in this journey. So there's an ebook, there's an audiobook, feel free to download it and go through it once, and it'll definitely help you in assessing how ready you are for the public cloud journey. There's also an assessment framework that they have, but that's a part of this framework itself. It's called the AWS Cloud Readiness Assessment. So this is your cloud adoption framework. And then we have the AWS well-architected review or well-architected framework. The well-architected framework is, again, there are 6 pillars of the well-architected framework. There is operational excellence, there is security, there is reliability, there is operational efficiency, this cost optimization, and there is sustainability pillar. So basically what you do is whenever there's an application that you need to move to the public cloud, or whenever there is a transformation that you're doing where you're moving your workloads from your on-premise data center onto the public cloud, there are these 6 things that you must take care of. You must make sure that there is operational excellence. So whether it is service management or incident management, or whether it's optimization of the costs or what have you, you have those operational excellence things taken care of. And then you have the security pillar, obviously. And I was earlier working for a financial services company where there's this fear that organization had of moving to the public cloud. They said that they are a financial services company. It is a highly regulated industry, and and moving to the public cloud might not be secure. It's been many years now. I am sure that organization has also matured and over a period of time has made the journey to the public cloud. I am also working for a pharmaceutical company now, and that is also a very heavily regulated industry. In fact, the second most regulated industry in the world, first being the airlines industry. And pharmaceutical companies around the world today have a significant impact on the public cloud, which basically means that they've taken care of security. So one of the important pillars of well-architected framework is the security pillar. It gives you the guidance that you need to ensure that your landing zone, your cloud footprint is secure. What are the things that you need to be taking care of? And then you've got the reliability pillar, and then reliability essentially means availability of your applications, making sure that critical applications do not have outage that is minimal, and so on and so forth. So it focuses on workloads performing their intended functions and how to recover quickly from failure to meet demand. So key topics include distributed system design or recovery planning and business continuity and so on and so forth. And then there's the performance efficiency pillar, which focuses on structured and streamlined allocation of IT and computing resources. So whether you are scaling horizontally or scaling vertically or using edge locations, or how do you ensure that that your resources are optimized and the performance of the application is good. There's performance monitoring and maintaining efficiency as the business needs to evolve. And then we have the cost optimization pillar, which primarily focuses on costs. Now, obviously, if you move your workloads like to like from on-premise data centers to the public cloud, whether it's AWS or what have you, you're not going to get the cost optimization that you're promised. You will not be truly leveraging the cost optimization that the public cloud provides. So this pillar primarily focuses on that. Key topics include understanding spending over time and controlling the fund allocation, selecting resources for the right type and right quantity, and scaling to meet business needs without overspending. So you keep your sizes minimum or optimum, and then as the need increases, you should be able to scale either horizontally or vertically. So all those things are taken care of. And then finally, the most important pillar, which is the sustainability pillar. And my wife is in the sustainability world. So and this is the last pillar that they've added a year or so ago. The sustainability pillar focuses on minimizing the environmental impact of running your cloud workloads. Key topics include shared responsibility model for sustainability, understanding impact, and maximizing utilization to minimize required resources and reduce downstream impact. So it takes care of the ecosystem, it takes care of the ecology, and ensures that the sustainability is taken care of. So these are all a part of the well-architected framework. So the first framework we looked at is the cloud adoption framework. The second one that we looked at is the well-architected framework. The third one is the migration acceleration program. So the migration acceleration program focuses primarily on how you can quickly migrate onto the public cloud to basically reduce costs, boost staff productivity, improve operational resilience, and increase business agility. And again, there are 6 sort of approach-related topics in this framework. There's methodology, professional services, there is tools, partners, training, and investments. And if you drill down a little bit into methodology, it is assess, mobilize, and migrate and optimize that we basically looked at in the previous episode of this podcast. If you drill down further, you'll see that, within assess, they primarily look at optimization and licensing assessment. So for example, on your on-premise data center, you have licenses for SQL Server. So what are you going to do about it when you move to the public cloud? Are you going to spend again on licenses? It takes care of all those things. There are a number of options that you have when you move to the public cloud as far as licensing is concerned. I will not get into that much detail about it, but it's a good thing to take a look at. There is the migration evaluator, which delivers accurate data-driven recommendations on the right size and the right cost of compute and so on and so forth. So primarily, there is this tooling that helps you understand what is the sizing that you are going to use when you migrate. And it's not a like-to-like sizing, obviously. So when you move from the on-premise data centers to the public cloud, even if you are in a virtualized environment, the sizing may change. So the initial assessment is done. It can be done using the migration evaluator. And then we've got the AWS Migration Acceleration Program, which is a comprehensive and proven cloud migration program based upon the AWS experience. It's more about the methodology. And then if you look at the mobilize part of the acceleration program, which is, so we have assess, mobilize, and migrate and modernize. So the mobilize part looks at AWS Discovery Service, and there is the AWS Migration Hub. So Migration Hub basically helps you in automating and planning and tracking of application migrations across multiple AWS and partner tools. And then you have the migration partner solutions. In case if you are partnering with a service integrator or what have you, then there are a number of solutions that are recommended by AWS. And then there's the AWS Landing Zone, which is a solution that helps you set up a secure multi-account AWS environment based on the AWS best practices. Before you start to migrate first few applications, landing zone needs to be prepared where all your applications are going to sort of land. And then you have the AWS Control Tower, which is a well-architected multi-account AWS environment. You can use Control Tower to manage your AWS environment during and after the migration. So this is a interesting framework. And then we have we have a framework for full stack development. Now, I'm not going to get into the full stack development. And then finally, we have the AWS serverless application model. So there are these different frameworks that AWS publishes. So my focus area is more on the infrastructure side. So cloud adoption framework and migration acceleration framework and well-architected framework. These are my areas of focus. I'm not going to get too much into serverless application modernization and full stack development. So serverless application model is about building applications using the serverless and Lambda capabilities. What I was trying to say in this podcast is there are these frameworks available. So when we talk about enterprise architecture, we don't need to only talk about the conceptual ideas of enterprise architecture. There are a ton of frameworks that are available out there that help you in doing your everyday stuff. And all of these fall within the purview of enterprise architecture. I hope you find the podcast interesting. If you do, then don't forget to like and subscribe, and talk about about this podcast to your friends if you find it interesting, if you think they will find it interesting. And don't forget, Enterprise Architecture Radio is less a podcast and more a collaboration initiative. So join the conversations. Look for Enterprise Architecture Radio. It's everywhere. It's there on LinkedIn. It's there on Telegram. It's there on all the major podcast platforms, and now it's on YouTube. So start the conversations, and most importantly, have fun.